Razan.
Masters of Ceremony and fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay. Today I'm gonna talk a bit about history. So at the beginning of this month, I traveled to Germany, where you guys had your the meeting on the 1st of October. So I went there and I discovered something really touched me. So I want to talk about it today. So I will take you back to 1961. Okay, at that time. At that time, at 1961, at the end of World War II, Germany was divided into, alien powers divided Germany into two sections, East and West, like East Berlin and West Berlin. So why did they do that? Actually, at that time, the work environment and West and East Berlin had a different economic issue. West Berlin, they had a very good economy. They were developing themselves. They did a very good job. They called their economy as a miracle economy, where they had a very rapid growth in their economy. Where East Berlin had the completely opposite issue. They had individuals were restricted from their freedom. They didn't have freedom. Their economy went down. It was the complete opposite of what was happening in West Berlin. So also at that same year, at 1961, 2.5 million people traveled from East Berlin to West Berlin to be at least to be financially well. Okay, so when they traveled there, So as you know, 2.5 million is not a small number at all. It's a big number. So what happened is the East Berliners, the powers who were in control in East Berlin, they decided to come up with the idea of building up a wall to prevent East Berliners to go to the West. So they decided to come up with this idea. So on 12-13 of August, okay, at the same year, we are still in 1961, soldiers and trucks went and they started to tear up the streets. They started to cut as well the communication wires from East Berlin. So they divided the area into two. East Berliners, the next morning when they woke up, they were stupefied, right, of that action. They were really astonished, how come they didn't let us to go to West Berlin? We have family there. We want to cross the border. So they were really angry of that. And what happened? They also lost their jobs in West Berlin. For the wall, what was that wall made of? It was a normal wall, with a 12 feet tall, and it's just a concrete wall, but it divides the two cities. Also, the people who tried to escape from this wall, they were immediately shot. Okay, and some people, they tried to escape to go to the west side, at least to see their families. So what they did is they dug tunnels beneath that wall, and also some of them they went to the other area by a hot air balloon. Okay, and over an estimation of how many people passed away just trying to escape, it's 200, and some people say no, it's thousands of people who really tried to escape to the other side. Now, at 1987, Ronald Reagan, he was the US president. He went there and he talked at the Berlin Wall. He had a speech, okay? And he was ordering East Berlin to tear the wall down. He gave them an order to tear it down. And in some way, he inspired Berliners. He inspired them in some way, like to connect at least. So 2 years later, after his speech, after the US president's speech, East Berlin and West Berlin, they climbed onto the wall, okay, and they started to tear the wall down, like they unified themselves, and they started to tear it down. And that happened after 20 years, almost 30 years. East Berlin and West Berlin, they didn't see each other for about 30 years, and that's a really sad thing to say. And nowadays, about that wall, it's disassembled. Like when I went there, I saw just a small part. And that day was on 3rd of October, and as you know, this month is October, and I was there on 3rd of October. So every year on 3rd of October, they do like a unification day. They celebrate. All of Berliners, they go out together and they celebrate in the area of where the Berlin Wall started. So I had a great experience, and yeah, it was a great experience. And also, what I got really something nice from there is a piece of the wall. Like this is the piece of the wall. Okay, they just colored it, and also to make sure that this is actually the wall. They give me like a small certificate, like to make sure that this is the one. It's not just any other wall. They put it in there. So even if it wasn't true, at least I have something from there. And that's it. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Razan, for giving us a wonderful history lesson about the Berlin Wall. I, for one, when I was studying in high school, were never taught about the Berlin Wall, and all that I know is from, thankfully, to the internet and Wikipedia. But thank you, and you deserve a round of applause for wonderful time. Before I continue with the proceedings of the meeting, I believe we have one additional guest that entered tonight. She is decked in blue and is a face that I have not seen in quite a while, and I'm sure has not been seen by many of our club members. May I please ask this guest, whoever she is,